Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Anyhow, Roseanne,
Welcome to CAD 116 in our weekly Zoom classroom meeting. Alrighty, so we've released Module 2 in the labs. This week we'll be covering Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Module 1 is due on the 27th, and we put that content in the content area. And so Module 1 covers Chapter 1 of the textbook, getting started, and Chapter 2, working with files. And the basic learning objectives for Chapter 1 were to be able to use coordinate systems for input, be able to understand how to create drawings using CAD and using the different units, and being able to work with AutoCAD to begin a drawing. Just basic startup things in the interface. When we look at the drawings that are due, we want you to work on these 5 drawing plates. There is a video that shows you how to create these drawings. And we have a video lecture for Module 1, as well as, well, here it is, video lecture for Module 1, which shows you how to do the drawing assignments. So if I click on that,
hey Joe Cerrone.
we walk you through how to create the plate title blocks, or how to create the plate drawings. You will need the plate title block. And so as we go through the course and we start to work with these different elements in Module 1, under Content, you will use the title block for the plate title block. And you can use either the DWT or the DWG. If you read Chapter 2, the difference is that this is a template and this is a drawing file. And templates are kind of blank pages that you can open, and then when you save them, you're allowed to save them as a drawing file. And so if we look at that drawing, here's the AutoCAD drawing. You should create the drawing on the plate template. Remember, you can enable the menu bar with this little arrow kind of down. You can show the menu bar, and that will give you the commands in the pull down area. You'll draw the object. If I was to draw this object just really quick, and let me change my color just to make it look a little visible using the line command. What I want to do is to be able to draw on the grid. Now, if you're getting those little glyphs, those are called O-snaps. And O-snaps will grab onto whatever geometry is enabled for the O-snap command. That's the polar, and this is the O-snap. And so if it's fighting with you, it's probably because you need to turn off the O-snap. And then it will not try to gravitate to one of the corners. Remember also that you can put all of the documents, all the drawings in one document if you want to. And so as we go through, also be sure to put on the date. And we like you to use your initials and then PLT for the plate, and then your name. And then make sure that you update the date. So if I double click on this, I can go in and I can change this date to the proper date, because that's how it works in engineering. As we go through and we start to work with engineering, we want to make sure that we have the correct date on it so that we know that we're working with the latest revision. Once you're done creating the drawings, what you will do is you will save that file. And then we'll go back into D2L under Assignments, Module 1 CAD Assignment. Here's how you'll be graded. You'll add the file. say add, and then if you have any notes, you can add them here.
And remembering that comment can be used two ways. Just to drop it in and say grade the file, or say I have some questions, it's concerns, please help me, whatever you like to do, and we'll get back to you that way also.
Correct. And if you've submitted it, it'll tell you that the submission was successful. It'll show you the file that you've submitted, and you'll get a little mark on the bell that'll tell you that you've submitted the file. All right, so that's the module 1. And then as we start to work on the different components of the course, don't forget to take the quizzes. And so in module 1, we have quizzes and exams. And so here's the quiz or the test for module 1. We don't put a timeline on that. You can take that you can take that up to 4 times. Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Just remind them also about the pretest that we have set up for also.
Yes, thanks for the reminder. So it's important that students will turn in and show demonstration of working within the class. And so here's the pretest. I've moved it over into the content area, and you'll need to turn this in. We sent out an email yesterday that students that are participating in an online course need to show participation. And one way to do that is to complete the student introduction pretest. And if I open that, essentially we want you to put your name and the date on it, and then it's worth 30 points. There's 5 questions at 6 points apiece. And we want you to fill out just a short, complete sentence, advantages of using AutoCAD instead of drafting by hand, your experience with computer-aided design, drafting experience, why are you taking the class, and what would you like to learn. And so as we go through and we continue working with the course, Module 2, let's get to that. Module 2 will cover draw commands and selection sets. And remember, under the content area, we have our Module 2. And so we'll put the content area in Module 2, and this is where we'll have the drawing exercises with the PDF of the lab. You can choose either the architectural or the mechanical lab. There's video instructions for each of the assignments. And then again, we'll turn in the drawing file to the assignments folder in D2L. And so we have this laid out for you. Okay, here's the drawing lab. Here's our YouTube tutorial. Be sure to use a title block. And so there's some chairs in this. We're going to show you that as well, but I can start off by downloading the title block and opening that. This is just a warning that says it's a student version and will be marked as such. And so this is your title block. And we use these title blocks because things like the units, if I type in units, are set for architectural. And so the measurements will be feet and inches. And then we'll do the drawing or create the drawing in model space. And remember, you can go to the tools, drafting settings, and you can turn on snap and grid. And we can set the snap on here for 6 inches. And if we want to, we can set the grid for 12 inches. And I usually like to enable polar tracking. And I usually leave OSNAP on as well. And so with those settings, I can then start to work on my drawing file. And if I take a quick look at the one that I have, it's 18 feet by 16 feet square. And so if I came back here and I started working on the wall layer, I can start with the line command. And I can track it out this way. 18 apostrophe. by 16. And it's okay if I'm off the grid, I can move it. By 18. And I can just bring it back to this point right here. Hit escape. And if I want to, I can either move it so that it fits exactly in the grid. I can turn on my line weights. And then I can begin my drawing. And so my architectural lab will look like this. And then you can also open the chairs drawing. And so if I come back here, if I go to the chair file and download that, and I open that, and I'm going to view it from the top. And then what you can do is you can copy it. You can say edit, copy with a base point, and I could say copy it from here, and then I'll select it. And then I can go to my other drawing, and I can paste it. Edit, paste. And it looks like it pasted the wrong thing. It's a little glitchy on my computer today. I'll get it going here. So I can edit, copy with base point, select my object, hit enter. We use paste as block. It's the same. And then I can paste it as a block. And there's a circular table on here. I'm just going to eyeball it for right now and make that for my table. And then I can move this. And I can array that. And we want that to be a polar array. And then we can set the number of chairs. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. I'm going to make it 5. Yeah, it's probably 6. Green check mark it. And then if I look at my drawing, yeah, 6. And we're not really that concerned if you started it, if the chair location is at the 12 o'clock position or if it's at 3 o'clock. They're just layouts. There is a video for the file, and so if we go through and we take a look at how to create this, here's our architectural tutorial. And we can play that.
Architectural applications for Module 2. We're going to create this drawing of a floor plan.
And so we go through and show you how to create that drawing.
Keyboard, opening of my floor plan. 84. Let's take layer active.
And instead of using the design center,
selecting this,
we've gone ahead and just given you the chair
2-inch diameter drawing.
And how to dimension it.
Text editor, which I'll
All right.
say 2.
Back to the main splash page. All right. Module 2, content. And so that's the architectural. You can choose to do or to create the mechanical drawing if you're a mechanical person. Here's the mechanical drawing labs. Here's lab 1. Back to module 2. Here's the tutorial for creating the mechanical lab.
Module 2.
And again, we go through and show you how to create the constructions for that using commands like offset, circle, trim, using the different layers. And when we create these drawings, just like we did with the architectural drawing lab, we're going to use the title block. And so if we select the title block for the mechanical drawing, we can download that. And we can open that. And so here's our mechanical title block. Oftentimes I'll put a node or a point at the 0 location. And then we'll create that drawing in model space. And so this would actually be the 0, 0 location on the computer. And again, you can set up the grid and the snap if I want. I can enable those. And then we can create the drawing. If we take a look at what the finished drawing will look like, here's what the finished drawing will look like here. Make sure you fill out the title block, student name. We can set these viewports to scale and create that drawing. Alrighty. Here's the textbook lectures. And so this covers the drawing content. And that's basically it for Module 2. I'm going to go back to the main splash page and wrap this up. Al, is there anything else that we want to talk about before we end our weekly Zoom classroom meeting and open things up for students attending with questions?
No, we just want to make sure that they look at the grades. We try to get the grades out as quick as we can within a day or two. And that should work out real well.
And if you'd like to request extra help,
just email us and we'll set up some time. We're also there on campus on Sunday mornings from about 8:30 until about 12:30, 1 o'clock, maybe a little after, depends on if you need some more help and whatever else. You also can sit in our class over there. It's a 116 class also. You can email us and ask for a video conference for help, and we'll be happy to do that also.
Great, thanks, Al. All right, looking forward to next class. If you have any questions, be sure to email us. You're welcome to come in person on Sundays. And that ends our weekly Zoom classroom meeting for today.